Hello, everyone, and welcome to the launch of Thick Black Lines by Ann Cruz. Okay. Yes, it is a momentous occasion. We are here to surround you with love and support.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yes. You're looking beautiful this evening. You're all looking beautiful.
Well,
Thank you for being here.
I do what I can.
I'm still letting folks in. This is an amazing turnout of folks who are just excited to hear your poetry. Okay, that's what I'm looking forward to for the night is your performances because you have such a powerful voice.
Oh, thank you.
I have a little speech prepared, so give me a second to pull that up. Check out the panelists, the photography, okay?
Yes.
Enjoy the vibe.
I'm so excited to see everybody. Thank y'all for coming. I see you. Thank you for coming.
We're excited to be here.
Thanks.
Yeah, you guys can chat for a minute. I'm getting my bearings.
Okay. Oh, I see you, Kimberly. Hey. Thanks for being here, Casey.
Thanks for having me. Yeah.
Hi, Casey.
Hi.
We're taking it,
Hey,
to love that. Okay.
Bill B. Hey, girl.
Ooh, I came on here like.
Ooh, hey.
Listen.
I'm gonna begin.
No judgment here.
I know, right?
No.
I came and took off my head wrap and was like, oh my God, just came back from the Black Wall Street. It's hot.
Listen, I get it. I'm in Phoenix and it's triple digits, it's hell degrees. So
for sure.
So do what you gotta do to cool down.
I am.
What you gotta do to cool down. It's all love here.
You look beautiful.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Ooh, the chat is hopping. I didn't even say
she looked great from her shirt up. Okay. You can tell us what's at the bottom. Listen, I was just gonna put on a nice shirt and then I said, let me not do these people like that. I was like, I might have to get up.
You're like the post office will knock on your door. It's an emergency. A hot fireman will come in. Look at you looking. All looks cute.
Right. I'm like, let me not be this way. Let me not be like this. Let me not do that. So.
Okay. So Thick Black Lines, we are here to celebrate the launch of Thick Black Lines by Dr. Christy Ann Cruz. Christy is a phenomenal woman with a phenomenal voice. And today we celebrate that voice and the messages that she brings across through poetry. Thick Black Lines is a testament to the heaviness that comes with being a Black woman in America and the ongoing onslaught of grief that has been endured not only by the author, but the collective grief. This collection taps into that feeling. And it's a very special collection. And I'm very honored that Christy would work with me and to promote and share this special moment. So yes, Christy has a one-of-a-kind voice that I'm honored to be a witness to. I want to continue shining a light on voices like Christy's and continue giving Black women writers our flowers now because it is just so important that we do it as often as we can and show each other how much we appreciate each other, because no moment is a given for sure. And so let's all value and embrace each other now. So I'm going to read Dr. Cruz's bio. Dr. Christiane Cruz is an educator, author, and social justice advocate with a passion for empowering Black women and girls to speak their truths boldly and unapologetically. Her passion led her to serve as a mentor with the Reach and Rise program of the Gateway Region and YMCA, an advisory board member of the Nia Kumba Spirituality Center for African and African American Women, treasurer for the Young Ambassadors of the YWCA of Metro St. Louis, and a volunteer for St. Louis Children's Hospital Raising St. Louis program. In addition, Dr. Cruz is a member of the Association of Writers and Writing Programs, AWP, and past president of the board of directors of the International Women's Writing Guild. Dr. Cruz's poetry, reflections, and self-portrait photography have been published in Gumbo Magazine, Remington Review, Gallery and Studio Arts Journal, Sunspot Literary Journal, Kitchen Table Quarterly, Black Minds Mag, the International Women's Writing Guild anthology Heels Into the Soil, and the IWWG Network edition Our Stories, Ourselves, Narratives from Black Women in Africa and America. Dr. Cruz has also contributed to blogs for the Mental Wellness Corporation, the Healing Collective Global, Spoken Black Girl,
Hey.
and Hallmark Mahogany. She was a Peyton Evans artist in residence at the Studio of Key West from December 2021 to January 2022, and is a recipient of the 2024 Artists Opportunity Grant from the Arizona Commission on the Arts. Dr. Cruz was born in East St. Louis, Illinois. She received a Bachelor of Science from the University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign.
I know, right? It's a lot. It's a lot.
I'm keeping up, okay? I'm gonna make it.
You got it. You got it.
A Master of Science degree from the Eastern Illinois University and a PhD from Bowling Green State University. Okay, my friend is educated. Okay,
Listen, credentialed. Credentialed. Okay.
so without further ado, Dr. Christiane Cruz.
Thank you, Ruwana. Thank you so much for agreeing to moderate and for organizing this. I really appreciate you. It's been a blessing and a pleasure to work with Spoken Black Girl. Want to send a shout out to my sis Cynthia Manick, and also to Casey Long for being here and agreeing to serve on the panel and to discuss my work. And just want to send love and a shout out to all my people, my friends and family who have joined us today to listen to my poetry, who always support me. And so I just appreciate y'all always showing up for me and always supporting me. And so I wanted to share some of the work that you can expect to see in Thick Black Lines. The release date for the book actually was yesterday, but the printer's running a little behind. So you'll get your copies soon. You'll get your copy soon. They said they're about 2 weeks behind, so you'll get your copy soon. So I hope that you love this book as much as I loved being able to release it. This book was definitely a labor of love. I wrote it while I was on sabbatical. I took some time from 2021, July 2021 to around October 2022, and just traveled across the US and the Caribbean and wrote this. Some of the pieces had already started before I left and were on my heart, but the bulk of it was written during that time. And it was a really emotional time. And I took some time for healing and to grieve and a whole bunch of stuff. And so those are some of the things that you'll see in the book. So I want to get started with this first piece in Thick. So let me just say, Thick Black Lines was the title was given to me in a dream, and I was actually not working on this book at the time that I had the dream. I was working on something else, and so when I had the dream, I woke up in the middle of the night and I wrote down, because all writers, we keep either our phone or a notepad near the bed, right? And so I wrote it down really quickly, and I went to sleep. And honestly, I didn't look at it again for a while. Because sometimes I wake, you know how you wake up in the middle of the night and you do stuff and then you don't remember you did it. And then I was looking at my phone and I was like, oh, I wrote a title for a book. And but I was like, I'm not working on this right now. I'm not working on this. And so I put it aside, but it just kept tugging at my heart. And I was really like, I was like, God, I don't even know what this means. What is Thick Black Lines? I had no idea what that even meant. And so it started to unfold over time. And so this is what came of that. So the first piece that I want to read is a short one, and it's from Thick, and it's called Haiku for My Left Breast. Can everybody see me? Can everybody?
Yeah, I was gonna say, let's check. Everyone can see, okay? One person
I
said,
can see you.
They can't see me. Okay.
oh, Christy, did you want me to do like the photo accompaniment, or
Yeah,
just
the first photo accompanying that. So and I'll give a little bit of background. This is a short one, so I just want to read that, and you can put it up when you can, Rowena. So haiku from my left breast. Benign breast lesion, a beautiful incision, pus seething beneath. So this haiku is actually also an ekphrastic kind of haiku. The picture from the Sunspot Literary Journal photo that is on the screen is a self portrait that I took of my left breast in 2019 after having a surgery to have a large mass removed from my breast. And I took this picture and a series of other Black and white pictures of my breast as a way of honestly making myself feel whole and making myself feel better about that I was going to have this huge scar on my breast. And I come from a family that keloids. And so I was like, I don't know if this is going to keloid or what's going to happen, even though I get little small keloids. So I just wasn't sure, and I wasn't feeling very good about myself. And so these photos were taken as a way for me to remind myself that I am beautiful no matter what. At the time that I took the photo, I did not know that I had an infection in my breast. So I'm just around swinging, taking pictures, woohoo. And there was pus underneath. So I didn't know. And so this photo was I'm sorry.
The breast was swinging?
That I was doing, when you're doing self photography, you got to get the angles right. So I'm trying to prop them up and hold them a certain way, and so I didn't know that there was pus underneath. It was a bad infection too, and so I didn't know. If you look at the picture, you see this little white. That little mark is what the doctor later told me. Yeah, that's not natural. That wasn't normal. So I didn't know. I thought it was just healing like that, and so, there's with women, there are certain things about who we are that is important to us and how we see ourselves. Our hair is one of them, and our breast is another one of them. And so I knew after the doctor had removed that there was going to be a substantial difference in the sizes of my breast as well. And so this was just kind of a love photo to myself. And I never intended to submit it anywhere, but I did. And this is what happened. So I was really, really grateful. But that's where that came from. And the condition that I had in my breast is called PASH, PASH, and that's what the name of the photo is. And it is called pseudo angiomatous stromal hyperplasia. So yes. The next piece I'm going to read is also from Thick, and this particular poem was written also in 2019. 2019 was just a really 2019 was really traumatic for me for a lot of reasons. So in January, I had this surgery, and then I didn't know I had an infection, and then I found out I had an infection, and then shortly after, the infection had healed and my breast was finally healing, my mother got sick. And we thought that she was experiencing some difficulties from other health issues that she had, but we didn't know that there were other serious things going on. And so by the end of March, she had to be checked into the hospital. Then she had an emergency surgery. And then a week after the surgery, she passed away. And so that was just, 2019 was most of just a blur and just went by really, really quickly. But I wrote this poem about how I was feeling when my mother passed. And this one is called The Day My Mother Died. The day my mother died, it was a Monday. It was the 8th day in the 4th month of that year. That's the day my soul broke open. As a result, I shattered into fragments of flesh and shards of bone. My soul evaporated on that day, and I watched through sockets encircled with soggy lashes. And each day after, a centripetal force has whisked the remaining particles together to form something, a shell of my former self, something blue and gray and absent of the contents that matter most. Mondays in the 4th month are unlike Mondays in the 3 months before and 8 after. Then again, I do not expect them to feel as they did before my soul consumed the axe that broke it open to begin with. So that one was a little difficult to write, but it really was a reflection of how I felt at that time. I felt like I was going to die. And anybody that's experienced grief of a loved one that's been really close, it's that poem was really reflective of how I felt. And Mondays in April are still difficult for me. My mom passed on April 8th, and so that's still a difficult day for me. The next piece I want to read is also from Lines, and this one is really special, and I want to send a shout out to Dr. Evelyn Ashley. I believe she's on the call. But during my sabbatical, I stopped in Amherst, Massachusetts, and Dr. Ashley was Dean of Students at University of Massachusetts Amherst at the time. And I know that picture looks familiar to you, Evelyn, because that's from your living room. So I stopped over in Amherst. She invited me to come stay for a little while. And I had been in warm climates. My plan on the sabbatical was to never be in the cold, was to just be in warm places. And so I actually had no intention on going anywhere cold. So I didn't have any winter clothes. I didn't have, I was just, you talking about girls swinging, summer dresses, maxi dress, listen. And so she was like, you could come out here, because I was like, I don't know where I'm gonna go yet. And she's like, why don't you come out here? And I was like, girl, I ain't got no clothes. She was like, we'll get you some when you get here. So I flew out there. She picked me up from the airport. It had to have been the coldest day in New England when it was so cold. It felt like somebody just took a knife and was just ripping. And I'm like, I had no coat. And she came to the airport and picked me up, and she had bought me a hat, a scarf and some gloves. And so mostly what I did when I was there, I rested and was just trying to find some inspiration to continue to write. And most of my days were spent near this window in her living room watching Golden Girls on the Hallmark Channel and watching the Hallmark movies. They have the same theme, but you still watch them because you do. And and so that's what I did. And this was my view pretty much every day. And one night, Evelyn and I were talking, and I was telling her, I said, you know, I can't believe I'm saying this, but I needed the winter. I missed the winter. And I was so busy trying to stay out of the winter that I missed the winter. And she explained to me, she said, the beauty of winter is that it offers us time to reset, that it requires us to slow down. And when we do, we can reflect and we can heal. And that was profound for me. And so those words and this photo from her window is what inspired this next poem. This is called Lessons from Trees. Every year, the trees strip down and bare their souls, and not just for a moment. They stand there in all their nakedness for a season, the one where they need the covering the most, and show us the power and strength in vulnerability. They stand tall and brave, never folding. And then, when it is time, they adorn themselves with leaves and fragrant flowers. They show us gratitude. Having survived the coldest season of their existence, they show us resilience. They show us love. So thank you, Dr. Evelyn, for inspiring that piece and for providing me with a safe, warm space to write that piece. So I'm going to move on to the next section of the book, which is called Black. And Black, the poems in Black, which you'll see, were mostly inspired by, there's always a lot going on in this country as it relates to Black folk. You know, I'm just gonna talk real with y'all tonight. We always get treated bad. It's always something going on. We always get treated bad, and you know, it's a lot, and it's a lot to carry, and it's a lot to carry every day in terms of that identity and the other identities in which we hold as well, and then just being human. And so 2020 was heavy for us for a lot of reasons. We were in the middle of a pandemic. For me, you know, I was still grieving my mother. I was grieving in August of 2019. I don't know if you all remember this, but the Amazon rainforest was on fire and it was burning, and Black smoke was the sky in Brazil was just Black smoke. And I remember crying and just feeling like a piece of me had lost, and not understanding that you can grieve for a place that you had never been to. But I understood the importance of the Amazon rainforest, and I knew what this was going to mean for us. The not so funny part, but it's also a funny part, as I was crying to one of my friends, Tashiana, who's on here as well. I told her, I said, we're gonna pay for this. I was like, I said, the whole of humanity is gonna pay for this. You don't get to burn up the lungs of the earth and think that you're just gonna be okay while I'm in the midst of tears. And sure enough, that December, they started talking about this pandemic. And by March, we were shut down and the sky cleared up and fog was lifted, fish started to come out again. I said, see, we had to pay for that. But anyway, but also what we saw is just Black folk dying, being murdered by police, being murdered by people who didn't feel like you should be in their neighborhood. We saw this uptick of police being called on Black folk for just existing. And so that was the inspiration for Black. And this particular poem was, well, I'll just read the poem and I'm pretty sure you'll get what inspired it. So this poem is called When Karens Cry. When Karens cry, it sounds like thunder from clouds filled with the rain that will water the seeds in the soil where trees that bear strange fruit grow. It feels like the break of a vaginal hymen leading to rivers flowing blood on cotton folds and sheets. It smells like burned flesh underneath crucifixes ablaze to purify their race, her tears the accelerant. It tastes like calcium-filled pulp and enamel swallowed upon the entering of a barrel in the mouth of lips pursed to whistle songs of swing low, sweet chariot. It looks like policing Black bodies while bird watching, barbecuing in the park, and talking on cell phones in hotel lobbies. Karen's tears can drown a community and set it afire simultaneously, and she won't stop. Wherever there are Black bodies, her crying commences like a baby whose mother is no longer in view. She is only soothed when Black bodies are subdued and put in their place. Beneath her, below her, between a rock and a hard one, that position familiar to Emmett Till's uncle, that space where only Black bodies seem to feel. Cry if you will, Karen. Your tears are a tool of the master. If you desire shelter in the master's house, in his house is where you can witness through the window of distraction, our liberation. So, like I said, I don't think that one really needs any explanation of what was going on during that time. So, the next piece I want to read from Black is was also and it's interesting. At the time, it was this attack on critical race theory, and now it is an attack on all DEI. And what we know is that it really is a desire to erase the history of the folk on whose back this country was built. And I was sharing with my sister friends yesterday that, you know, for my ancestors, I will not allow our history to be erased. I will not allow our stories to be erased. They are stories that need to be told, that should be told. And so this piece that I wrote was actually written at the time when there was a lot of attack on critical race theory. And I found that most people didn't really understand what critical race theory was, but this is what inspired that piece. And this is entitled, "Attacking Critical Race Theory Won't Make Me Forget." Oh. Attacking critical race theory won't make me forget my Black is beautiful. It is artful and poetic. It is Sugar Shack and Warrior. It is Maya and Audrey. It is Zora and Tony. My Black is the firmament. It is the canvas from which the stars hang. It is vast and engulfing. It is nothing and everything. My Black is Black. So Black, it's blue Black. I wish a motherfucker would Black. Black sorrow, Black tears, Black blood, Black. My Black is bold, it's unapologetic, it is fearless, it rages on. It is resilient, it never gives up, it never fails, it is love. My Black is encompassing, it is a black hole, strong pull, strong hold. It is the moon and the tides, it is the end and the beginning. My Black is the mother of humanity. It is Eve and Henrietta. It is Anarcha, Lucy, and Betsy. It is the cause and the cure. It is living and dying. My Black is coveted. It is copied, reproduced, and mimicked. It's a trendsetter. It leads, guides, and is followed like the North Star. My Black is music. It is blues and jazz. It is Coltrane and Davis. It is blue and green. It is an electric relaxation. and a peaceful retreat. My Black is spiritual. It is mountain high and valley low. It is the Red Sea in front and the enemy behind me. It has faith. It believes. I almost want to say amen after that one.
I did in my head.
Hallelujah. I mean, aside from the MF, but hallelujah. So that was attacking critical race theory. Won't make me forget.
Christy, make sure you let me know when I like to move ahead for another photo or something.
I will. Thank you, dear.
No problem.
I think I'm gonna move on to the last section of the book, which is lines. And lines is really about policies and structures that are intentional about separating us. And I'm going to read the poem that's entitled such, called Lines. If you want to go to the one picture with the marker from, so there's four parts to this poem, and the first three parts are pictures that I took while I was on when I was at my writing residency in Key West, at the studios of Key West. And I didn't know a lot about the history in Key West, Florida, and a lot of what was going on there until I got there. And have you ever been someplace and you just feel you feel an overwhelming sense of sadness? Something has gone on there. It's just a heaviness that you feel. And before I even knew all of this, I remember going to the pier, and there was just a sadness and a heaviness that I felt. And as I started to learn more about Key West, I started to learn more about the history and just some of the things that were going on with gentrification. I got an opportunity to speak with some of the Black residents who were there, who are experiencing the displacement in Key West. And they were very open about their experience, how they feel. And so these, the first three were inspired by that. And so this is called Lines. Number 1, I cannot swim. I never learned. My mother was born in Mississippi in 1941. She could not swim. She never learned. Yet these waters know me. They call me by name. They knew my ancestors, buried them like treasures. Number 2, oh, give me, you tired, poor, huddled mass, yearning to breathe, your homes, your community down by the sea. You tempest-tossed Black and brown bodies, there is no lit lamp beside the golden door you fashioned for thee. Number 3, the children are no longer playing. They have gone. It is not safe to play here. The children are no longer children. They are offerings. They have been sacrificed for the right to bear arms. Number 4, Skittles, Lucy's, a counterfeit $20 bill, death. The Aurora Theater, Emmanuel African Methodist Episcopal Church, Tops Friendly Markets, dinner. So this, the third one about the children playing, and I think that's the second slide, Rolanda, that one. I actually took this picture in Key West, but this poem was inspired after the shooting at the elementary school in Uvalde, Texas. So the one about the children not playing, it just so happened that I had that picture. And I remember thinking about that and crying and being upset about that and going through some of my photos, and I thought that this was a great picture to represent that. The second one is the next picture, Rwanda. This is a picture that I took as I was exploring the Key West area and talking to some of the residents. And I got to an area that had really been gentrified and the Black folk displaced. And I took this picture because these are the homes that the rich folk wanted. These are these little shack homes, but they're by the beach. And so the whole street was lined with Mercedes and BMWs and Range Rovers and all of these fancy cars. And in this place where these people have been displaced and have to now leave the island, but these were the homes that they wanted from those people, anything that they could take from them, especially because it was by the beach. So that second part of the poem where I talk about, oh, give me, you tired, poor, huddled mass, that's actually inspired from the poem that's on the Statue of Liberty. And so took a spin on that because it really did remind me of Key West and how the Key West was Bahama Village is the area that is being displaced, and the people from the Caribbean and the Bahamas came there and created this area, and now they're being forced out because folk want to live by the beach. So. The last piece I'm gonna read from Lines is probably one of the hardest pieces that I had to write, other than in Lines, I will say. And it took me a while to write this piece. I had started this one probably in 2020, and I didn't finish it. I didn't finish it until maybe 2022, but this is the one I'll close with, and it's called Bodies That Know Boxes. Black bodies, they know. They know the immorality of confinement. Black bodies know dehumanization and subjugation for the sake of colonization. If the body keeps the score, Black bodies have tracked hashtags and lashes that rip the flesh from the bone. Black bodies, they know. They know the trauma of subtraction. Black bodies know separation and the tearing apart of families. They know being forced to multiply, all for the sake of economic growth. If the body is mathematical, Black bodies have mastered geometric shapes of rectangles and squares through passages of triangles, obtuse and scalene, from Africa to the Americas and New England. They know lines, parallel and perpendicular lines, red lines, covenant lines, and lines that lead away from sundown towns. Black bodies know margins of circles and ellipses, where Black trans bodies represent 80% of all murdered trans Americans, and Black women and girls perform disappearing acts, hiding their Black bodies to the count of almost 75,000. Black bodies know dying. They know remains of bones and dust bathed in liquor poured for the brothers and sisters who ain't here. Black bodies know carrying the sins of a nation on its back. Black bodies know. They know. They know rising from the ashes of the thing meant to consume them. Black bodies know how to be reborn. They know arms raised in praise and hallelujah and songs of hymns and spirituals while waiting for the angel to trouble the water. Black bodies, they know. They know rising in rebellion against the thing meant to subdue them. Black bodies know liberation. They know rest as resistance to white supremacy and capitalism, and marching and kneeling in protest. Black bodies, they know. They know breaking out from boxes that can no longer contain them. Thank you. And I want to give a shout out to my friend Miss Daphne Moore. She doesn't know this, but so I've been editing her or was at the time editing part of her dissertation, and she is writing about displacement and about gentrification of historically Black communities. And as I was editing, I was learning all of this stuff about covenant lines and red lines and sundown towns and all of that. And so thank you, Daphne, for inspiring that piece of my poem. And there was just so much that that I learned from that, and so much that just fit as I was working on it. I was like, oh my God, this is a piece that was missing. And so I want to send a shout out to
Hold on
Daphne.
a minute, Christy.
Yeah.
Everyone, could we just unmute and give Christy a round of applause for that beautiful reading?
Thank you.
I know sometimes it doesn't feel the same.
Thank you.
Yes,
I'm trying to snap my fingers.
yes, yes, yes.
Celebrate
Great
you.
job.
Christy.
Thank you.
Yes,
Thank you
great
so much.
job.
I hope you all enjoyed it. It was, like I said, it was a labor of love. It was difficult to write at times. But this is what I prayed for. And it's just beautiful and such a blessing to see it come to fruition. So thank you all. Thank you so much.
Yes.
All right, all right. Yes.
Oh, shout out.
Okay, the big day. So I invited some folks that have worked with Christy at different points in her career to just say a few words. Doesn't have to be anything like, too deep, but just I just really wanted to start off with kind of like I guess I'll start with Cynthia. We're missing Kai. She couldn't be here tonight. I hope she feels better and all of that, but she sends her blessings. Well, we've got Cynthia, we've got Casey Long, Cynthia Manick, okay. Manick is
Okay, and I know this is my book launch, but I gotta send a shout out to my girl. Her book, No Sweet Without Brine. Y'all need to go to her website, check it out. It's an amazing poetry book. So I gotta send a shout out to my girl. So there we go.
You took the words out of my mouth, okay?
I'm sorry.
Yes.
You know what? I blurbed your book, and I think I called the poems incantations, because each poem to me felt like a kind of spell as you were balancing what you saw, what you felt, and how your body reacted to what those two things were happening at the same time. So I love how each poem has multiple levels of observation, but also levels of internal through your body, how it's being observed as well. So I think the book does a great job of just world building and making you see what you see and the way you see it. So I really do love it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, when you have a poet as a friend, okay?
Right.
And I also want to say hey to Casey Long, the editor-in-chief and founder of the Remington Review. Hi, Casey.
Hi.
So you were able to publish a poem by Christy, Other. Now, Christy, I was hoping you would read Other so that we could I can request it.
I can read it. And let me just say before, and I'm sorry, Casey, to interrupt. Let me just say before I read Other that I appreciate Casey and the Remington Review so much. When I first started getting back into creative writing and I, I was figuring things out on my own, and I had written Other was probably one of the first poems that I wrote that I really felt like, okay, I really feel good about this. It was one of the first poems that I wrote after I had taken some workshops and some classes and things like that. And I had sent out some other poems, and I had been getting rejections. And I just want to send a shout out to Casey and to Remington Review, because this was my first poem to be published. And that meant so much to me, because after receiving like rejections from other people about my poems, you start to be like, okay, maybe my stuff sucks. And so I mean, I literally was in tears. And so I just want to say thank you so much, Casey, and thank you to Remington Review. That was such a huge boost to my confidence as a writer. And that was really the reason that I didn't stop. Because I was just like, well, maybe my writing is bad and I just need to not put this out there. And so when you said yes, I was like, I did a Sally Fields. They like me. They really like me.
Oh, that makes me so happy to hear. That's exactly what I love about the journal, and just being able to publish works by people who haven't had acceptances before. I was once like that too, where I kept getting rejections over and over again. I'm like, am I good? And then I got that first acceptance. It's a great feeling. So I'm glad that I could do that for you. Yeah, because your work definitely deserves to be celebrated.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's okay. We wouldn't be here without you, apparently, Casey.
Listen, Casey, listen, I wouldn't be here without you. I would not.
Oh.
So I'm going to read I'm going to read the poem that Casey in the Remington Review took a chance on and published, and that Rowana really seems to like. So Other is in Black. Other. It was a Tuesday. The first time I realized I would never really be accepted, that this society only wanted my Black body for labor, exploitation, appropriation. On that Tuesday, my Black voice was silenced. The tears of a white woman pushed my Black experience to the margin until I was invisible. At work, I listened to white women share how a new book had empowered them to lean in. It was a Thursday. I remember thinking I would need to be a contortionist to lean in from the margin, leaning into a table to which I was never invited. It was a Sunday, the first time I was told by people who looked like me that I was not enough. On that Sunday, I came to know the psychological devastation of racism, its manifestation as internalized oppression and colorism. I was too dark to matter. In class, the professor referred to others. It was a Wednesday. As he continued to lecture, I realized I was who he meant. I was the other. Nameless, faceless, nothingness. I was alien, different, marginal. I sat in that space present, yet absent. It was a Saturday, the first time I rested in the beauty of my Black womanhood, when I spoke my truth boldly. On that Saturday, I came to understand my power, in whose image I was created. I fashioned my own table, invited my sisters, and we loved one another fiercely. Thank you.
Again, okay to unmute to clap and snap. Okay. So
and let me just say this. I don't know if my two sister friends recognize this, Clarice and Jarita. Those are my sister friends. They're really my sisters. I've been knowing them forever. But that last part of that poem, that Saturday, which is the Sabbath, is an ode to our friendship, and some of our Saturdays together. When y'all forced me to go to church with y'all. No, I'm just kidding. When I went to church with y'all, and I loved it. I enjoyed myself. But that that was really an ode to our friendship, and being able to be in community with Black women who loved me and saw me and supported me and cherished me. So just want to send a shout out to Clarice and Javita on that one.
okay, I love the sisterhood, and I love how other takes you on a whole journey, and I love referring to the different days of the week and the different incidents that just kind of jumped out in your mind. So that I was going to ask Casey, but I'm so glad that you read the poem so it can be refreshed in everyone's mind. I was going to ask Casey, like, what struck you about the poem or Christie's voice that ended her up in the, Remington Review and her first poetry publication?
Yeah, I think I was at that time, I went back and saw that it was fall 2020 was when it was published. So during the time of Black Lives Matter and everything was being discussed. And it was a poem that I hadn't read before, like unlike any other poem that we published before. And it was a powerful voice, social prejudice, Blackness, mental health too. And it was just something that I think all of our readers could relate to with their experiences, but also giving that voice a presence in the journal. And I really wanted to shine a light on that experience.
Thank you, Casey.
Yeah.
Brilliant, brilliant. Let me see. I have like some of my questions here, but I feel like you all have basically everything has just been answered just having the conversation. Like I was going to ask Cynthia, like, how did you well, I could still ask you, Cynthia, how did you meet Christy and how Ooh, I want to know. She's laughing. I really want to know. Okay.
Because now I'm trying to think back. How did I meet Christy?
Because you joined the board of IWWG. I was already on the board, and then you joined the board of
we started DMing each other in the middle of Zoom meetings. We in Zoom meetings, we'd be DMing each other in the middle of
We would be
meetings.
DMing each other doing like, what in the whole hell is going on?
Yes, now we have side conversations, and we got really close. We have similar personalities in terms of humor. We crack each other up, and we just clicked. We just clicked. And I also love the way how her photography sort of I didn't realize it was there until like after I met her like a couple of while in, and I was like, oh, you're a photographer as well. And now it's good to see how photography shapes the poems, how the poem shapes the photography. Like I love the connection.
Yeah.
It's very, very cool.
So has Christy's voice influenced you in any way, like on your own poetic journey?
She hasn't. She hasn't, but
she's influenced me on my poetic journey.
She hasn't influenced my poetics, but she's influenced the topics I cover in terms of perspective. Our conversations has influenced the poetry. Our conversations have influenced directions I will take in a poem. I'll take a photo of she's taken, and I'll thinking about the poem, like, oh, that's a great photo. The way she looked light is there, and then I'll write something about that. So the conversations we've had poetry kind of experience have influenced the poetry. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that works.
Okay. I'm sorry. I was like, no.
She hasn't influenced me. Feel nothing. I'm empty.
But our conversations and our connection has influenced something that I've written. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I love that because your circle is everything, okay? And keep people around that make you smile and make you laugh, and yeah.
And
Cynthia, you are so funny too. You send
I'm always sending her weird stuff in the middle of the night.
And this last time I got to see Cynthia, we were at a writing retreat in San Diego, and we, it was amazing to be in San Diego. And I always love, like, Cynthia and I, we text regularly, and we'll hop on the Zoom. She's always so supportive. She can tell when I need to, she calls them our fit to be tied Zoom calls. And I'm just like, I can't take it no more. She like, listen, we're gonna do a fit to be tied Zoom call. And then we have our drinks. We can use ginger ale
glass out of a very fancy glass.
And right. And so, Cynthia has just been so supportive, but this last time we got to see each other in San Diego, was really important for me and very comforting in a lot of different ways. I have a lot going on right now, and just being able to walk the boardwalk with her. And Cynthia has this thing when no matter where we are, a conference, she's gonna find a nook. She finds some place where she can escape and nobody can bother her. So she
I
took me on a
do.
nook walk. And so we went on a walk and we stopped at all of her nooks along the way on the boardwalk. And it was such an amazing experience. And
We
so
got dessert.
we
You know,
had
we
dessert.
really, it was a
We
really
just had
custom
such a
walk.
good time. But I don't know if you remember this from our walk. And actually, I wrote a poem about this to go into the anthology from Wild Seeds. Do you remember when we stopped on a bench and
I hate the sun.
we were
I was like,
laughing.
the sun to the shade ratio was off. That one.
The sun to shade ratio, but no, we were just we were laughing about something. We were giggling and laughing, and this man came up and said, hey, hey, sisters, y'all got some money, y'all got some y'all can spare. And we was like, no, we ain't got nothing. He was like, the way y'all was over here laughing, I just knew y'all had some money.
He was so offended that we were laughing.
We were that happy,
there's no cash.
And we didn't have no money. And so I was like,
my debit card, and like I said,
Cynthia was like, all I got is my debit card. I'm like, I ain't even got my wallet, bro. I would help you if I could. But he was so offended that we was having such a good time and that we was broke. He was like, I done climbed up this hill. I heard y'all laughing. I climbed up this hill, asked y'all for some money, and y'all over here laughing like y'all got some money. But what it made me realize was what does it mean to be rich, right? And that we have each other, that we had this opportunity that we could just sit there and laugh and giggle, and that somebody that didn't know us just assumed from the sisterhood and relationship was going on that we not only did we have some money, we had something to spare.
Yeah, we had a spare money jar that's in our pockets.
We laughed so hard. He said, y'all up here laughing like y'all got some money. And I'm like, well, damn, I didn't know you got to be, but okay. So yeah. That tickled me so. But that ended up in a poem, so.
Okay, so we're
my niece, let me just say, my niece says, y'all laughing like y'all got some money sounds like something Granny would have said. Yes, your grandmother definitely would have been like, what y'all over here laughing for? I know y'all got some money. Yeah, that's definitely one of my mama's. That would have been my mama's line.
Like you said that, and her voice just literally manifested in my mind.
Listen, but the only difference between your granny and that dude, if when Cynthia said, all I got is a debit card, my mama would have been like, where's the ATM over there?
Right. She would have, this the modern age, she would have been like, I got Cash App, y'all.
Right, my mama would say, I got Cash App, girl, go ahead and cash. Right, so yes, your granny definitely would have, she would not have left without some money from us, Cynthia. Just so
wouldn't have.
No, not at all.
okay. So I was saying we're coming up on the hour. I don't want to hold anyone too long. Thank you for being here and listening to this beautiful poetry and all the storytelling in between. Okay. I did say there would be a giveaway, and I know, Christy, you're gonna have some extra books, right?
I am, and I'm gonna have some signed copies of some books, yes.
Okay. So I guess can you enter, if you want to enter the giveaway, please put your name in the chat. And what do you think we should do? Should I have that whole spinning wheel of names thing?
You have a whole spinning wheel?
Online you put like, I'll do it.
Well, yeah, we can just take the names and then we can put them in the spinning wheel and you tell me who won and then I'll reach out to them. And are you gonna do that now?
Let's do it live. That's more exciting. Like we're on a game show.
Oh, well, go ahead. I'm old school. I don't know about all this stuff. You talking about putting something in a wheel. I'm like, yeah, let's do it later.
I'm okay.
Oh, you can do it now.
1 second. I'll play some music or something.
Okay,
but just enter your names.
It's gonna be live. Live.
I didn't know you could do it live. Listen, Cynthia, I'm showing my age here.
I know.
I'm like, Kamara talking about Christy too old for this. Yes, Kamara, I am. I am too old for this because I'm surely like, well, yeah, we'll send y'all a letter. Let me get your address.
Via Pony Express.
Right, and I'll send you a letter in the mail, let you know if you got chosen about 2 weeks. And
right now.
And here we go.
Personalized stamp in the back. A little wax stamp says Christy.
Yes, with my initials.
Your initials.
So Rwanda is doing the damn thing. She's all high tech. She's putting it in there now.
I'm
So, and I'm willing to do 2 giveaways. If you got 2 people, I'm willing to do 2 signed copies.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not
Carry
a pigeon.
Carry a pigeon. Okay, Kamara. Now you just getting ridiculous. You know, these young gals, these young college gals, they get beside themselves.
I'm waiting for your second career as a stand-up comedian, Christy.
Listen, for
When's
real,
that
these young
coming?
college gals, but that's okay because when you get my age, somebody gonna be doing you the same way. I don't know about y'all, but let me just say, I think this is funny while I'm waiting on Rwanda, but I was somewhere a few weeks ago and I saw this handsome young man and he smiled at me and I smiled and I said, "How you doing?" And he said, "How you doing?" "I'm doing good, ma'am." Ma'am?
The ma'am, it's a death knell. It really is the ma'am.
Ma'am?
I know they're trying to be nice, but the ma'am is like a
What you talking
in your
to?
heart.
I'm a young tenderoni. I was like, the fact that I'm saying tenderoni.
Tenderoni.
I was offended. I don't know if anybody else is going through, but I was offended. Ma'am, I thought you was trying to holler at me. I'm ready to give you my number and you think I'm your mama. So yeah, so I have been, because everybody always tell me, "Oh girl, you got such a, you got such a youthful look." And I'm like, well, y'all been lying to me because this young man said that I was ma'am.
Well, tenderoni, you stop saying that.
Tenderoni.
That's some Bobby Brown days. Tenderoni.
Kamara, you know what time of the tender what? Listen, little girl. You know what a tenderoni is. Ask your mama. Ask Miss Denise.
Ask Miss Denise. You know what it is.
She know what tenderoni is.
But ma'am is like really is a stab in the heart. It's like
that took me out.
You clutch your pearls like
I clutched my imaginary pearls because I was like, surely there's an old woman behind me that he's talking to. He's not talking to me. I'm still feeling like I'm 23. Sir. I try not to be offended. And I said, Christy, the reality is you're 48 and you could be somebody's mama. So just because you ain't got no kids don't mean you couldn't be nobody's mama. So
Okay, our first winner is Belle B.
Oh yes, Kashare.
Yay! Congratulations. They did a little, it's probably over. It's like,
okay, congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay.
Now what's next? Do she send me her address and stuff?
Yeah, send you the address and then you send the book when you get the book.
Yay.
Okay.
One more. We got one more winner.
One more winner.
One more winner.
Okay.
Oh, it's spinning for okay. You got
Tamar.
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 Tamar Banks, that's my baby girl. Yay, Tamar. So Tamar and Kashare.
Girl, if I could figure out how to get off mute, that's me. I'm happy. I'm excited. Girl, I couldn't figure out how to get off mute. My bad. I'm here. I'm screaming. Y'all can't even hear me.
Well, listen, I'm going to mail you a signed copy of the book when they arrive. I'm going to mail you and Kashare a signed copy of Thick Black Line. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, guys. Christy, you got anything else to say? Do you want to say goodbye to the people?
I do. I want to say thank you. I want to say I love and appreciate y'all. I want to say that y'all are just amazing. I hope that you know that that this book and everything that I do and I write is inspired by something that you all have done or in some way. And so I appreciate my village. I appreciate my people and I love them. And I just want y'all to know I love y'all and appreciate y'all. And I can't wait for the book to be mailed out. I can't wait to hear your thoughts about it. And I just love and appreciate y'all. So thank y'all for showing up tonight. And
yeah. And if you didn't get to win the giveaway, you can still order Thick Black Lines. Okay, every order counts. Okay, spread the word.
Spread the word.
We also have an IG Live with poet Carla Cherry coming up. So that's going to be on Instagram. And so you can hear, if you loved hearing these poems and you just want to hear more or hear it again, there's going to be more opportunities to do that. And yeah, thank you for being here. Awesome. Congratulations, Dr. Christiane Cruz.
Thank you. Thank you so
Congratulations.
much.
Woo-hoo.
Thank y'all.
Congratulations.
I appreciate y'all. Have a good night. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Bye.
Hey. I'm gonna say some real old word up. Hey.
Hey.
Anybody say word up?
Yeah, you is old.
Who are you?
Oh,
Who are you, my mom?